Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Resistance. We're going to take a look at two stocks today, Vulcan and SFR. SFR is our day trader today, so we're going to take a look at COPX for some reference to what happened overnight. So this is the intraday from last night in the US session, and then you can see it closed up here where it basically opened. I thought that was kind of curious because only a few shares went through, so I didn't think too much of that actually. So it did sell down quite a bit. It was about 2.86%, 2.86% down. And what we ended up doing was shorting this on match on SFR because it didn't gap down much. It was gap down 0.6% or something like that. We'll get into that in a sec. I just want to bring up spot price. Now you can see spot rally during our session, but I'll show you what happens before our market opened at 10 o'clock. So this is what it looked like because the market's basically 24.5 for copper. So it's gone up, and then during the US session, it came off, stayed steady, and this is where our market opened here at 10 o'clock. Now, one thing worth pointing out is this little move here at 10:30. That's something we'll reference a little bit later. That's kind of like the end of the selling on SFR. And that's kind of where the reversal doesn't start, but I just want to take note of how it is making a higher high at this point in time. And, you know, there's no guarantee there's going to be a shift in momentum. You don't know if it just goes to VWAP and then drops. So we didn't go long on SFR. I just want to point out 10:30 is when the start of the reversal appeared. And then we kind of got not necessarily confirmation, but more conviction on the long idea. Once it hit the intraday, we got two VWAPs going. We got a just different time frames. But once it came up, pulled back to the proper VWAP, as I call it, during our Sydney session VWAP, it just bounced and looked really good at this point in time. So at around 11:30, 11:40 was when the bounce happened here, and that's when we starting the idea of going long, because it looked like it was just forming higher lows at this point right there. So I was like, okay, maybe we can convert this to a long and see what happens, and it ended up doing quite nicely. So we're going to take a look at SFR with the reference to those timeframes that we just talked about. So we had the COPX down 2.86%, therefore it was a nice open price of, sorry, I'm on the wrong side here. It's down here. So it opened up around 0.6% down from a COPX of negative 2.86. Keep in mind, spot was just steady, was relatively flat, so it wasn't too exciting at this point in time. So yeah, it just sold off, and here around 10:40, a little bit of a delay from that little bounce that we saw on at 10:30 on the spot price. So don't expect an immediate reaction from the ASX. Usually the stronger the move on spot, the faster the market tends to react. I think we saw this, and I covered this on a lithium video some other day. I can't remember, it was maybe early last week, maybe the week before, but there was a huge move in lithium. It just shot up, and then all the lithium stocks spiked, and we traded that intraday, which was really sick. But in this case, it was a small spot move. It kind of just reversed off the lows, and then we see just a few minutes later it starts reversing, and then we end up with this move through VWAP as it comes back down. And yeah, we start along and just hold on to it all day. I mean, there was no real reason to close it, because at no point in time did spot price look like it was coming back. If anything, it kept looking stronger and stronger. There was an add-on at VWAP, of course. Always, if spot's doing really well and there's an excuse to get at VWAP, we buy at VWAP, and then that's it. Hold it to the end of the day. And yeah, it was really good. I mean, it's not, you know, again, this isn't like some crazy money printing trade. It's just, you know, we make 1% on the way down. We make this breakthrough VWAP. I think it was, I should probably double check the prints here, but I'm fairly certain it was on this pullback to around, okay, so it's another, let's call it 1% to the downside and maybe 1.3, 1.4% to the upside. So really nice, steady trade. It may not sound exciting, but it pays the bills, and it's just a lovely trade. I thought it was very clean, very reliable, fairly low risk. I mean, there was reasons to go to the downside, and there was reasons to go to the upside, and the market just fucking behaved. So it's always good when the market does what I want it to do. We're going to take a look at LIT ETF. This looks brutal on the daily chart. It's continued to sell off 2.88, and you might recall that we went long at 270, 271, 272 on Vulcan. So one would expect a bit of selling on the back of this, even though lithium has kind of bottomed out on spot. So this is the daily chart that we're looking at. We're going to take a look at the 1 minute. And this is what happened during our session. It kind of opened up about 1%-ish, dipped to 0.22, rallied to 1.5, dipped again. So it's very choppy actually. So dipped to the negatives and then recovered back to plus 1%-ish. So a little bit of chop, but ultimately it looks like it has bottomed out for now. We'll see what happens in the next couple of days. But that has stemmed the bleeding during our session. So we got Vulcan. I was not actually expecting it to be green today, but a lovely little surprise. And tomorrow I think is key for this idea, for this trade. I would like it to see it above 280. Now, in order to have conviction on this, for me, like real strong conviction to add on, to hold this, to swing it back up to like however long it takes to get back to this trend line, somewhere around 360, 350, depends on how long it takes to get there. But in order to get that conviction, if this is a one-day fake out, right? If we spend 1 day below support and then it pops back into range, that for me is a huge fucking buy signal, right? We've talked about this in my earlier, I think it was maybe like 25, 30 episodes ago. We talked about that on EOS. It was an absolute fucking monster. I think I'll bring up that chart just for some reference. So here was the closing price. So we use these 4 data points here. We use the bodies and the wicks of 2 candles. Close below it once, fake out to the downside, recovers, and then fucking launches. Now, the problem with this, well, it's not really a problem, but what I do want to highlight is that EOS doesn't have like an ETF. It doesn't have a spot price to work with, right? Vulcan is beholden to spot in a lot of respects. So I'm not going to expect this massive 55% move in a number of days on something like Vulcan. It's just realistically not going to happen, and not that kind of speed either. So this is beholden to the lithium price to some extent. But lithium also looks okay. If it bottoms out here, we've got higher lows, and if it starts swinging back to the upside, fantastic. What can happen is if lithium does start swinging to the upside, we may see an overreaction to recovering the Vulcan price, share price, right? So it won't move 1-to-1. It's not like lithium moves 1%, Vulcan moves 1%. That's not how it works. So just a bit of like reference, just some out loud thinking behind the trade, what can be expected, what might be expected, and sort of the reaction behind it. So for us, if it does close at like 290, 288 or something like that, I will be adding long with much more conviction. That parcel will have a stop loss of basically lower lows. So we'll have 2 parcels. We've got our ones in the 270s, low 270s. We'll have another one in the mid 280s if it gets there. And then the one thing to be cautious about is retesting this kind of level and coming off. So it'll be interesting to see weakness, because that is a $3 level. That is a major level. It's kind of hovered around there before quite often. So I think if anything, this will give us a really nice buffer if this works out. So if this goes till, let's say, like I said, tomorrow, if it does manage to get there at 280, in the 280s, we now have a sick fucking buffer for our long trade, which is basically grabbing the lows in the low 270s. I'm fucking stoked about that, because what happens then in this scenario, that the stop loss doesn't remain anymore at 262, 261, 263, that kind of area. No, because if this comes up, and then starts to roll over, it's going to be a stop at lower lows. It's probably going to be more like, we're going to lose maybe a cent or two, maybe 3. So the risk is going to be so fucking tight now. So we're in a fantastic spot, assuming this doesn't gap down or some crazy news announcement comes out. So I'm really happy with how it is, and we'll just keep chugging along, doing daily updates on things, and we'll rely on day trade money more than swing trade at this point in time by the looks of it. So that's it for me today. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.